I don't want to push you, but it is the week. So you have to make a choice. I get why you're leaning towards state. I went to state. It's a fine school. It's a fun school, but you've been given
a once in a lifetime opportunity. I know. Can we maybe talk about this later?
Yeah. And if you need anything today, just call me up or text me up.
Just text. No up.
No up.
Wow, Val is really channeling this dad hard.
I love this dad. He's the best dad.
Cool dad. Hey, Val.
Hey, Al.
Welcome to the commentaries.
Thank you. Welcome to you and welcome to our listeners. Today, we're talking about Bad Hair Day.
Yeah. And you know what? If you haven't heard of this movie, it does exist.
Oh, uh-oh. I suspect, based on a few brief comments from Al so far today, that she and I are on different pages when it comes to this movie. And you know what? I like that because it's better than both of us deeply
having the same opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't not like it. It got better as I was watching it.
Fair,
I will say.
Fair.
I will say. It started
Fair.
off on a not so good foot for me, and then it picked up a little bit.
Yeah, I like some of the other movies that we have watched that I ended up liking. The first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, I was very concerned.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in short order.
Yeah.
Let's do the business first. Bad Hair Day came out February 13th, 2015. February is a very interesting time to release a movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe there's some reasoning behind it. Perhaps that's a good time for TV movies or something like that. I'm not sure, but
yeah, people are inside.
Yeah, they are. So that would kind of make sense if that were true. Bad Hair Day was directed by Eric Canuel, who didn't have any other DComs in his resume. He didn't have a huge, he had a fair amount of TV episodes, but the only ones where he worked on multiple episodes were Big Wolf on Campus, Flashpoint, which is Canadian cop show, and 19-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's working. They filmed this, by the way, in Montreal.
Yes.
So that's why a lot of the people here are Canadian. Bad Hair Day was written by the Eddy brothers, Billy and Matt. They also wrote Zapped, and they will write Teen Beach 2, as well as Monster High 1 and 2, as well as some episodes of Eureka. The other credited writer on this is Eric M. Gardner, who only had one other credit. I was trying to figure out if this was based on a book or something. I couldn't find that. So I don't know what his deal is. He's not the author of the novel or something like that. So I don't know. He must have just not written a lot of stuff.
Nice. Hey, neither have I. What are you going to do?
True. Same. The cast is as follows. Laura Marano played Monica Reeves. She was on Without a Trace. Her big thing is she was in Austin and Ally. She was in the movie Lady Bird, and she's also a singer, so she has a bunch of music video credits as well.
And it looks like she's blonde now.
Oh, nice. Leigh-Allyn Baker played Liz Morgan. She is a pretty prolific character and voice actor. Some notables are the video game Mass Effect, a cartoon called Back at the Barnyard, the show Good Luck Charlie, and Will and Grace. But she had a very long resume.
Yeah, so she's actually a Disney Channel star. She's gonna check that box.
Yeah,
she is huge from that show.
For sure. And she actually, because of that show, is an executive producer on this movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Christian Campbell played Pierce, the diamond thief. He is also a pretty prolific character and voice actor. Some notables were Max Steel, Big Love, and Kia in the Kimoja Heroes, which is a cartoon. Okay, I do not know if I'm pronouncing this correct, so I apologize, but I could not find confirmation. Alan Goulem it's spelled interestingly. Anyway, what played Monica's dad, who doesn't apparently have a name.
It's just
or
dad?
at least wasn't listed in the credits. Perhaps he was named in the movie and we missed it.
Interesting.
Or I missed it. But he is also a pretty prolific character and voice actor. Some notables, Bob Moraine, 18 to Life, Assassin's Creed, the video game, and My Old Ass, which is an Aubrey Plaza movie
recently.
that just came out. Christian Paul played Ed, who was Liz's cop partner. He is also a character and voice actor. So a couple notables, also an Assassin's Creed voice actor. And he was in the movie Wicker Park, which I found interesting. Do you know that movie?
No.
It came out a very long time ago, like early 2000s, maybe. And I believe it starred Josh Hartnett, and it was like either a thriller or a horror movie. Like I remember like being too scared to see it. And I liked it because Wicker Park is a neighborhood in Chicago that I lived in. So
that's really cool. I've never even heard of it.
Kiana Madeira played Sierra, who was Monica's best friend. Some of her credits are Really Me, Trinkets, Fear Street, and My Adventures with Superman.
Val, Wicker Park is free on Amazon Prime.
Oh my goodness.
Or Tubi.
Nice. Well, maybe we should watch it. Have you seen for both of us? Whoa. Jake Manley played Kyle Timmons, who I believe was Monica's boyfriend. He was in Heroes Reborn, iZombie, Midway, and The Order. Yeah. And Zoe de Grande Maison,
that's a good name.
which I love. Yeah. Played Ashley, the mean girl. She was in Orphan Black and Riverdale.
Cool.
And that is the cast.
Hell yeah.
The synopsis is as follows. A high school student is desperate to be prom queen, but on the big night, her hair is an uncontrollably bad mess. Meanwhile, a lady FBI agent is on the hunt for a jewel thief who is looking for a stolen necklace, which the messy-haired girl has in her possession. Soon, she and the agent chase the jewel thief, and she's whizzed on a wild adventure in the city.
Yep.
This is one of those ones where it sounds like AI wrote this.
Yes, they
and
did.
then translated it to Greek and then translated it back to English.
Yes. That's so funny.
Like it doesn't make any sense. So it's not incorrect, but it's also not correct.
Right.
And it also tells you too much too. So for a synopsis, it's bad. As far as fun facts, I already mentioned two of them. Leigh-Allyn Baker was one of the executive producers, and it was filmed in Montreal. The other one is that Laura Marano, who played Monica, didn't have a stunt double for the driving scenes. So she was actually driving the car.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I thought that was fun.
I wonder how old she was.
That's a great question. I'm sure we could find that out.
We sure as shit could, Val. Oops. Explicit. Oops.
She was born in 95. So she was 20 or 19, right?
Yeah, in 2015. Yeah, 20.
Yeah. So she definitely was, at least could have had a license.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know for sure that she did, but she could have.
And we say that because Hollywood actors are too busy acting to get their license.
All right, Al.
Yes.
With the business done, you know what time it is.
I do.
What were your first impressions of this flick?
Kind of already previously mentioned. It started off, I really did not like this movie to start. Really did not. And then it started to grow on me once they we heard from the synopsis, set out on their adventure, so to speak.
Yeah.
But pre-adventure, not a fan. Yeah, I'm going to just down the middle, give it a 5. Like, it's not terrible. Fair. Obviously, we've seen worse movies. I really like Leigh-Allyn. She was absolutely the star and the standout. And then She's and Laura have just really great buddy comedy chemistry together.
Yes.
It just took me a while to get there.
Sure.
And I thought Leigh-Allyn also looked really great with red hair. She's a natural blonde, and she looked really good with that red hair. So, yeah, overall, a fine time.
Fair.
Yeah. Val, first impressions.
Kind of similarly to you, like when this movie first started, I was like, oh no, I hate this girl. This premise is dumb. I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. And then Leigh-Allyn's character, Liz, knocks on the door and begins the hijinks. And I knew from the moment, because their banter in that first like moment of meeting each other, I thought was very good. I was like, this is like very like quick, like patter kind of, you know, back and forth. And they worked really well together, I thought. And I was like, this is different. And then I basically realized that this was if The Heat was a DCOM. And I love The Heat. Okay. Like that is one of my favorite movies. And so I was like on board. Once I realized that this was like crotchety, like cop meets like girly girl idealist kind of like put together, trying to solve something. Like I was like super on board.
Is The Heat the one that's with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I've seen it, but I obviously know what it is.
Yes. Well, we should definitely do it for Have You Seen? Okay. It's a Paul Feig vehicle. So it's like what came after Bridesmaids. Yeah. So I was like, I have to watch this. And it is so funny. Cool. Like I really think it's like top notch. So anyway, it felt like this was sort of like the teen movie version of like that same kind of premise. And it worked for me. Like once that part of the movie started, it worked for me. Yeah. I thought it was really funny. I thought the dialogue was really well written and well executed. And I appreciated the heartfelt stuff as well. I thought that they handled a couple like serious conversations like pretty well. And I also appreciated that this was a movie about two women building a relationship that wasn't, there was basically like no romance in this movie. It wasn't about like getting a boy or not getting a boy or whatever.
It was in there, but it wasn't the plot.
Right. It wasn't, it was like a tertiary like subject matter. And it was just like two women doing stuff well. You know, like one of them is good at being a cop, the other one is good at computers and stuff. And like I just think that that's really neat that was like the focus of this movie. So I really ended up enjoying it quite a lot. Good. Like I think the last note I wrote was I think I like this movie, or I think I love this movie.
You're gonna hear the synopsis and we're gonna hear my thought process throughout the entire thing. So it's gonna be a great time.
Amazing. So yeah, that was my first impressions. Cool. Okay. Al, favorite quotes or moments?
Thank you. I have a couple of quotes and a couple of moments. So I have when the dad is talking like kind of from our old cold open, he's not very tech savvy. So he goes, "You can retweet it to all your peoples." That was cute. When, what was her name? Liz shows up at the door the first time. She was like, "You're with the American FBI?" "Oh, I'm sorry. Is my Russian accent throwing you off?" So good. She's such a good actress. I love her. And then Liz having moments. She goes, "Oh wow, this has affected you." When she's like crying in the stall, she's like, "Oh, this is and I'm like, "Oh my God, she is me." And how do you even know I'm single? You're obviously single. Like, I don't care if you're J. Edgar Hoover himself. You gotta wait like everybody else. Like what a pull. J. Edgar Hoover, okay. And then Liz at the end, she goes, "Do you want to dance?" And he goes, "Yes. Can I lead?" She goes, "Probably not," because she wants to be in charge. So there were a couple good lines. And then my least favorite moment is when they're in a park and two guys walk by in flip-flops. Don't like men in flip-flops. And okay, actually two bads for me. Other least favorite moment was when they parked really close to the train tracks. Even though the train tracks were not functioning train tracks, you could tell it was in like a dilapidated warehouse, but I was like, that's still too close to the train tracks. And then my comment that I wrote as the movie as the whole that I probably should have mentioned in first impressions is kind of goes along with what you were saying, which is I think that this would be a better movie without it being a DCOM, kind of like the pacifier or the game plan where the adult is the protag. I think I would have liked it if that was the story we saw in the beginning instead of seeing the high school girl story to start.
Yeah, I get that.
Because it did turn into a good buddy comedy, but for me, it's just started so, I don't know. I just didn't think it was strong. I would have liked to see it probably from more of the protag of the adult.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So those are my favorite quotes or moments, Val.
Nice.
What are yours?
Thanks, Al. At one point early on, her doofy boyfriend goes, "The orphans, babe, they count on me." When she's at the door prior to the FBI line, she says, Liz says, "This has nothing to do with Abraham or his lawn decorations." Now you're letting me in? You're 5'1". What could you possibly do?
Yeah. She's like, "I'm 5." And she's like, "No, you're not."
When talking about those swimmer boys that they like pulled over, Monica says, "They're super nice, super hot, and slightly delinquent about city sanitation rules."
So good.
At one point, Monica says that Liz is her Aunt Hilda, who is colorblind, and she just goes, "I sit at stoplights all day wondering, do I stay or do I go?"
So good.
It's so good. There is a lot. I wrote a lot of quotes.
It's a good movie for quotes.
Liz goes, "You need a moment and a corn dog." When they spot her boyfriend cheating on her with another girl, Monica goes, "He's supposed to be helping orphans." And Liz goes, "Does that girl have parents?"
Oh my God. I remember that. God, I mean, it's just Liz's lines were so good.
Oh, they're so good. At one point, she's taking a driving lesson and they have to drive Liz's car, which she calls Brando.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she said Brando a bunch of times. And then the instructor goes, "Okay, now pull Brando into traffic."
Oh, that poor instructor.
Oh my God. It was so funny. And then he also says, "Never push the red button. Don't you guys watch movies?" Oh, as she leans over and just goes, "Poopy. The password is poopy."
Yeah. For me, didn't love that. But for Val, laughing so hard she can't breathe right now.
The line reading is like, I hated that it was poopy, like the word poopy. But like the line reading of her just like looking at it like over Monica's shoulder and saying, "Poopy. The password is poopy." It's just the way she delivered it is so funny. And then there were a couple sweet lines. One is, or like serious lines, I guess, that I liked. One is that if someone's always telling you how great you are, how do you know when you're not great?
Yeah.
Which I found very interesting. And then Liz says to her during that same conversation, she says, "Who you are today is so much better than perfect will ever be."
Aww.
Which I want to pocket and save for a day when Alice is having a hard day when she's like a teenager.
Aww.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed this movie.
Good.
I thought it was very funny. So Arnie is the name of the guy who works at the car impound. And I couldn't help thinking the whole time during that scene that Arnie would be the perfect character for Michael. My husband.
Yeah.
I think that he would love playing that character so much. And so I just enjoyed watching it because I was like, this is something Michael would crush.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Oh, also, the DMV calls her to set up an appointment.
Yeah.
That would literally never happen.
And that's the thing. We've had this conversation before where it's like all of these things obviously are not real. But when you get to the nitty gritty things that should be real that are like so far fetched, where it's like the DMV's never calling you.
Right. Like, why didn't she just already have her driving test scheduled? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, you didn't make appointments back then ever. Like you would just show up and do your test or whatever. But let's just say hypothetically there were appointments. Why didn't she just already have it scheduled? I don't know. Anyway, that was it for favorite quotes and moments. Al, any other stuff you want to discuss before we head on down to Spoiler City?
I'm ready to spoil. I am Val, like fully like opposite poo bearing it right now. Top is off, except for I'm wearing a $7 million jewelry diamond necklace
on your neck. Yeah. I steamed my shirt badly
Val.
it melted off of my body.
No. And now you're topless heading into Spoiler City?
I am.
Shoot. Well, now we get to spoil the movie. All right. Welcome to, what is this called, Val? Bad Hair Day. Almost made Val start choking. My first note is I can already tell I'm going to hate this.
No.
It does get better, I swear. Okay, so we intro into a room with a girl who is kind of like, it's the night before prom. She's very tech forward. She's very smart. And we kind of see her doing this online portal system where people are voting for her hairdos. So she's like trying all these different hairdos out and posting a picture of them so that her online community can vote for which one she's going to wear for prom the next day. She had people vote on her dress and her shoes and all of these things. And prom is the next day. So my comment then is, how is she so bad at doing her hair in the mirror? Because she's like goofy, like combing, like
it was so
and then
stressful.
It would look so perfect. I hated that.
I know.
So then she wakes up and it's prom day. So she goes to her computer. She sees that the side do won. And then she FaceTimes her friend and her friend is like, whoa, what's wrong with you? And it turns out her hair is like fried and crispy, which we never really got an answer to.
She just put too much product in her hair and did stuff.
Could wash out.
Just take a shower.
So like her hair is like breaking off, things like that. And then her dress is melted, which I'm just going to fill you in now. Later on, we find out that she put something in the steamer and it ended up like melting her dress. It was basically.
Well, the dress was plastic.
Yeah. Was it plastic?
Yes, the dress was plastic and she tried to steam it.
Oh. I thought that it was like regular fabric and then she steamed it and then it turned plastic. But
no, it was plastic. Yeah. So this girl who got into MIT and is like a genius melted her dress trying to steam a plastic dress.
Hey, Disney, what the fuck? Okay. Val, it's already explicit. Okay. I already said shit and I said it again. And I will say it again. Rule of threes. Okay. So I wrote, and her shoes are also ruined. I'm so confused. Her poll also was tracking who is going to win prom queen, and she was equal with another girl. And then the DMV calls weird, and they're like, we can do next April. And she goes, no. And then they're like, okay, but we can do 2 p.m. today. And she's like, but it's prom. And they're like, we can do 2 p.m. today. So she's like, okay, great, I'll be there. And then her date calls, which is her boyfriend, but he likes the orphans. I don't know. Then we have Cool Dad. I wrote, I cry because I love Cool Dad. And he's like, you have a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, you know, this is choosing where you're going to go to college. And they have like their little heart to heart. And we find out it's just the two of them.
And he's an ER nurse.
He's so cute.
He's such a good dad.
So Monica, I don't think I've said her name yet. Monica, it goes back to her room to kind of like start getting ready. And she puts on this necklace that was on her counter, and this very nice, calm music comes on. And in my head, I'm like, oh, this has to be like her mom's necklace. This has to be sentimental to her, is what I was picking up. And then knock, 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 the FBI shows up and asks about the fancy necklace. And we're like, oh, okay, that's weird. But then we find out it's not actually the FBI. It is kind of like an ex-cop. And this cop, who is Liz, she's the tiny, redhead firecracker, is like trying to find this necklace. We don't really know why, but is just doing her best. Like she kind of barges in the house. Monica does a good job of kind of getting around of like, you're not the FBI. It's a fun scene. And she's like, people are like going to pay if we can get the necklace back. And she like doesn't want to give it back. And I wrote, I'm guessing this lady and her dad end up dating. Spoiler City, that doesn't happen, but they were
I was thinking
very
that too,
much alluding to that.
Because they kept mistaking her for her mom. And so I was like, oh, so she's just going to be her mom now.
That. And then when she was like, you know, your mom left and you guys are sad. And like, there was just a lot of like mom mentions throughout. So I was like, for sure she's going to end up with the single dad, but that didn't happen. So pretty cool.
I'm kind of glad that didn't.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. And then Liz reads Monica for filth, which was funny. And Monica's puts her brains to the test and is like, okay, I'm going to give you the necklace back if you can give me a ride around town. I need my hair done. I need a new dress. I need to go do my driver's test. Actually, I don't know if she had mentioned the driver's test at the time, but she did. Okay, so I need you to do all of these things for me, and then I'll give you your necklace back. And she's like, oh, fine. So then we see a spy. We like cut to a different like scene person, and it's like a spy. He's in all black, and he goes to the pawn shop. And he looks like, Val, have you seen Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
So he looks like the doll from that like pawn shop where it's like. He looks like the doll from Toy Story 4.
That's so funny.
And so we like see him throughout, but he's trying to also find the necklace. So it's not just this cop who's trying to find it. She is an ex-cop, so she doesn't have like a police car. She has her own car, Brando, as Val mentioned. And they're driving around town. She pulls over friends from school, the water polo guys, because they threw littered out the window. And you kind of see her feisty side of like, I'm going to citizens arrest you if you don't go back and pick it up. And then they get to the mall so that she can get all of this new, stuff for prom that night. And they keep making jokes. She's like, this isn't my mom. This is my aunt. Blah, blah, blah. The salon can't get her in. They fully picked someone with a French accent, which maybe because they were in Montreal. I don't know.
Yeah, but it didn't sound real to me. It sounded like an American putting on a French accent.
We cannot see you today. We have no openings. You're like, all right, Clarice. I don't know. What's a French name? All right, Antoinette.
Clarice is a French name. You know what else is a French name?
Valerie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the salon can't get her in, and then we go back to the creepy doll man, and he breaks into Monica and Cool Dad's house and like fully tears it apart. He disables the alarm with the way that she had like mentioned a funny way to break into the alarm with a cell phone and a pipe cleaner, and then of course 10 minutes later he did it. Hated that.
Chekhov's pipe cleaner.
Yeah. Turns out she can't return the dress. Weird, because it's literally melted. And then the Liz accidentally left sunglasses on her head, and they left the store, and the alarm turned on, and she almost like kind of gets arrested. Kind of convinces the security guard to let her go, and then people are keep your mom under control, and they're like, we're not. We find out that she's on a temporary sabbatical from work from being a cop. So we don't have many more details yet, but this is where she's like starting to kind of break that down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Dad calls. He's just checking in. He's like, hey, I'm in the hospital. You good, girl? And you're like, cool, Dad, checking in. Mm-hmm. Then we're at the mall, and she sees her orphan boyfriend flirting with another girl. And she starts crying. And the other girl was the girl she's like neck and neck with for prom queen. So she's like, what the heck? You know what, Val? We're explicit. What the hell? Okay. And so she goes to the bathroom and cries. So when she was crying in the bathroom at the mall, her friend came in and they like went through their purses so she could try to help her out. And they like, blah, 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 went through all their stuff. That is important. And then they go back out and they make Kyle. Actually, this might be convoluted, but I don't care enough to fix it. She makes Kyle do a bunch of weird stuff. And then Liz does. Yeah.
Liz does. Under the premise that she's a cop.
Yeah. She's like, do the Macarena, do the turn around and bop your head and blah, blah, blah. And then the doll man broke apart the whole house. And then he sees the driver's test is coming up on an iPad. So he like steals their iPad. So it's like 2 p.m. driver's test. So he's like, oh, I know that will be happening. Then because Liz was doing too much at the mall, they arrested her. So they end up at the police precinct, and she used to work there. We find out she had a crush on Ed, her partner, but she doesn't know how to flirt. So she's just kind of like mean to people, which can't relate to at all. Weird. Yeah, no, people don't do that. As I scream internally. So then the chief is yelling at her kind of like behind closed doors, and Monica is getting a lay of the land a little bit from the people who knew her. And she told Monica that she quit, but it turns out she didn't quit, but we don't know much more right at this point. She tells her that she was in charge. So then now we're like kind of getting to the story. Liz tells Monica that she was in charge of security for a traveling like jewelry show, and the $7 million diamond was stolen by the doll man. He like do 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 and like stole it. Just imagine what my hands are doing, because you guys are listening. You can't see what he's coming down from the ceiling.
He cut a hole in the glass while he was dangling from the ceiling, and then stole it.
Okay. Then she like tried to do all she could to get away, and then she just did.
But she tried to do it by herself.
Right. So and she did bad. So I wrote she did bad.
She didn't call back up. That's a huge point.
Yes.
She wanted to do it herself.
And so they like were mad at her because she wanted to like show that she was this really incredible cop, and she didn't call for backup. So she was let go. And then it turns out the doll man tried to sell it. And during the exchange, he gave it to the wrong person, like in the airport or the train station or the bus station. And apparently Safari look is in because he gave it to the wrong Jungle Cruise skipper. And so the wrong guy took it. And then it like went on this journey to go from here to there to sold to this to that, and ended up in the pawn shop where Monica ended up finding it and buying it. And they have a heart to heart. Then they get to her driver's test. It goes horrid. The driver's guy was really funny. I liked him. And I wrote, I really wish he did well. I really wish it wasn't this crazy thing. But the doll man showed up, and he was like driving and chasing them to try to get the diamond. But they ended up kind of like getting away. But then she fails the test and the car gets impounded. Monica yells at Liz, which was sad. And I wrote frowny face, sad. And it turns out the car was impounded, and the diamond is in her purse that's in the car. And so they split up trying to go like find it. But then from the doll man, Monica gets a picture of her dad being captured. And I was fully under the impression that that was fake. Fully did not look real.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, that's fake. He's just trying to lure her in. That's not the case. Dad ended up being captured. But I was like, that's a bad picture. So
interesting.
Yeah. So she turns around, grabs Liz. They go to the pound to try to get the car back. That's where we see Mikey E as Alfred or whatever with his
Arnie,
password Poopy.
With his dog Poopy.
Oh, God. So Liz is trying to distract Arnie by flirting with him, and is like, you have a nice forehead, because she's like doesn't know how to give a compliment. Well, Monica is in the back like hacking the system to try to let the car go, because otherwise there's 30 people in line and they might not even get the car till tomorrow. So they get the car, they go into her purse, and the diamond isn't there. She had put it in the back of one of her eyeshadow palettes, and it turns out when they were in the bathroom when she was crying, her and her friend had switched their stuff up. So then they're like, okay, well, we have to go find her. She's taking prom pictures at the pond. We got to get to the pond. So they get there, and she's like, I don't know, her name's Bridget, maybe
Sierra. Her friend.
Those are close names. So she's like, Sierra, where's your palette? And she's like, you aren't a winter shade, which I thought was funny. And then she like gets the diamond out, and they're like, whoa, what is that? But then the ex-boyfriend who ended up going to prom with the girl who he was like kind of cheating with, who was neck and neck for prom queen. This staging was terrible, but then they like fall into the pond, even though the pond was like a full, probably 80 feet away from where they were standing. So then they're like, ha, okay, they're all wet. And then they get the diamond, and then they go to where dad is being held captive, which is at this like rundown warehouse. We find out that the chief of police who was yelling at Liz earlier is her mom, which I totally picked up on.
Really?
I was like, oh, yeah, that's her mom. Should have written it down. I need to do that more because I'm writing down everything else. Val. They have a heart-to-heart about moms because Monica's mom ran away and Liz had a very overbearing mother, and they kind of like share the stories
Demanding,
I wish I had what you had. I wish I had what you had. But like there's a median in the middle of like both things are okay. But this is why Monica seeks outward validation and does all of these polls online because she wants everyone to like her because she doesn't get that. So then they have this nice heartwarming chat, which was cute. They find the doll man. He's like, oh, yeah, you're never going to find your dad. And she's like, yeah, I do. We all literally have Find My Phone. I don't know what you're talking about. So he's literally in the other room. And then
that's so funny.
And it turns out this time Liz made a good and she called for backup. So he is caught and she tased him as he was like trying to do away. Turns out because they got the diamond back and they caught the guy, Liz gets her job back. Monica has a heart-to-heart with her dad, who was still cooled out after getting kidnapped. And then while they were in the salon, they ended up going twice. I just didn't mention it twice because it was kind of like not important.
Redundant.
Yes. While they are like getting everything back, the buzzer, they got like a buzzer for like a restaurant and was like, if this buzzer goes off, we can fit you in. And the buzzer in her purse goes off and it's like, oh, you can get into the salon now, which that wouldn't have reached as someone who used to work in a place where buzzers only reach a certain area. But then they don't go to the salon, but then they get a dress. She's like, you should still go to prom. And so they go to the evidence room and they like pick a dress from the evidence room, which I actually liked that dress way better. Like that was a really good dress that she picked. And then you guys are never going to guess. They are letting her wear the $7 million diamond to her high school prom.
Yeah, this was.
I wrote, come on. Yeah. So they go to prom together. Like Liz dresses up too. She goes with her partner, Ed, but she needs a police escort. So like everyone's there because they have to protect the $7 million diamond. And it turns out that she never got her hair done. And instead, she chopped all of her hair off. And I'm not saying, I am not saying short hair is not cute. But what I am saying is that they put the worst possible wig on her. It was so bad. It was so bad. It looks like me in my Christmas show when I have 2 seconds to put my hair up into a wig and it's not on right. This is a full movie production and that is the wig you chose.
I think I suspect that it was intentional because the whole day, the whole entire movie, basically, her hair is so messed up, right? And she's wearing this like beanie over it the whole day. And so presumably she never washed her hair. She never like changed her hair from how messed up it was. She just literally let Liz chop it off. So like, I think that what they were trying to get at was like, what would her janky, messed up, crusty hair look like if it was still janky and crusty, but it was just shorter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that that's essentially what they were trying to do. Yeah. But I agree with you that it looks ridiculous. Bad. Like I didn't even like recognize, like I was trying, it was like my brain couldn't like process what I was seeing at first. Like I was like, is that a weird updo?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yes, I don't that's exactly what I did at first too. And it's kind of like if you put a helmet on and then put a wig on top of a helmet. Like it was, you could clearly tell that there was just a full poofy head of hair under there. Hate it. And then it turns out she won prom queen. Kyle cheating on her skyrocketed her winnings, and she gives a speech, very Katie Heron from Mean Girls. She, in the speech, says that she's going to MIT, and then at the very end, Liz flirts with Ed, and that's the movie. Yeah.
I liked it. I think it's heartwarming, and I really like their relationship.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, it ended up being a fine movie. There were just some of the bigger choices I did not like.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Cool. Should we hop on over to
bingo? Let's do it. All right. Let's stop. Once again, fully having an aneurysm. Let's start in our top left corner, as we always do, one hit wonder song. There was a song in the beginning.
So I think that all of these songs were sung by artists who have other stuff. And I don't think any of these songs were like their one-hit wonder song, if that makes any sense. So I don't think we can count it.
So no.
Sorry. Breaking the fourth wall or looking into the camera. I guess you could count when she is taking pictures of herself. She's kind of looking into the camera at the beginning.
Yeah, I'll mark that. Holiday themed.
No. Clunky metaphor. Well, her hair is a metaphor, right? Because like the fact that she's like obsessed with kind of fixing her hair, making it perfect so that she can be loved because her hair is perfect. And then she realizes she doesn't need her hair at all and she chops it all off.
Wow. I would say that's pretty clunky.
Yeah. It's essentially like you don't need, like, it's sort of like a representation of like outside validation, right? You don't need it.
I do. Okay. Parents who just don't get it.
No.
Yeah. All the parents get it.
Because like even Liz's mom
gets it too hard.
Right. She gets it like more than Liz does. So yeah. Cool non-parent adult. I mean, Liz. Yeah. She is the cool non-parent adult.
Someone too famous for a TV movie. No.
I don't think so. Competition to resolve central problem. No.
Okay, I know that but Val, in this case, is it not because she announces that she's like, I am so confident in myself now that like, I don't need this?
Look,
but is that not the central problem?
Right. That's sort of what I'm getting at. So like usually like the reason that this is a square is for stuff like Johnny Tsunami, where it's like, we're going to race down the hill to prove a point, or like for Brink, right? Like same thing.
Fine, Val.
So fine. I just don't think it counts. I just don't think it counts. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's fine. I didn't mark it.
Okay.
Something crazy, Val. Montage sequence. We had a mini one where they're looking at dresses in the evidence room, but I don't think it was a full montage sequence.
Okay, what about at the beginning when she's doing all of her hairdos?
Okay. Yep, that's it.
Cliche villains.
Man who looks like a doll. Clothes or items you owned?
I was really trying because we like got a really good look at her room and like a lot of stuff. I didn't
Can you remember, did she wear a crown when she won Prom Queen?
I think she did, but I wasn't paying.
What if I won a crown when I won Prom Queen?
I guess that counts.
Woo-hoo! We're counting it. Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes 40 to 60. I don't know that a lot of people have seen this movie. So I'm going to go with my Al is usually right method and go with 50%.
That's so funny. Val, you're within 5. You get the point. And we get the point. It's 48.
Hey. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. So I was correct.
You were correct. I do have to say, I don't base my score on the Rotten Tomatoes score, but there are some times where, like today, it is pretty equal. So
yeah, I know. There's a lot of times. That's why I did.
You know what? I am just a voice for the people. So thank you. Happily ever after. Yeah,
for sure.
Very much.
Almost kissing. No.
Yeah, the boyfriend storyline is so tertiary in this, which was honestly great.
Not important. Yeah,
this movie passed the Bechdel test.
Oh, so like
Val went cross-eyed. She was so excited it passed the Bechdel test. She was like, "Yeah."
I mean, that's essentially why I like this movie so much.
Someone who became famous. Yes. Laura Marano has 9 million followers on Instagram.
Wow. Okay. Fair. Counts then.
Yeah, that very counts.
Cool. All right. Betraying of one's real friends or values.
Not really. No. And I do have to say that I liked that her and Sierra, while still being best friends, were like, she wasn't like mean about like, why are you looking ugly? Ew.
No, she was just trying to be a supportive friend.
I liked their friendship throughout.
Yeah, me too. it felt very real, like a real friend, right? Like we're not literally at each other's houses every second of every day. We don't like appear all of a sudden conveniently. We're just sort of doing our own thing, and then we occasionally run into each other. But I don't think this really happened in this movie. Betraying.
No. Narrator. No. Thank God.
Obviously bad special effects or stunts.
The car stuff.
Well, the car stuff. So I will say a lot of the car stuff actually looked pretty good considering that this was a decom. But there was definitely a moment where the Diamond Thief's car, it was so clear that it was on green screen behind him. So I would count that.
There were a couple, like the first time that the Liz and Monica were in the car looked good, but then when they were doing the driver's test in the car, it started to look not so good.
Yeah.
Channel star.
Yes. Leigh-Allyn.
Yeah, and Laura.
Oh, and Laura. Yeah, that's right. Austin and Allie, I forgot. Musical number.
No.
Nope.
Magic. No.
No. Someone says the title of the movie. I don't think so.
No.
Which, like, it was definitely possible, but it didn't happen. And I'm glad.
Scooby Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was literally a criminal in a warehouse. It was very Scooby. The heroes create the problem.
Not really. She just bought a necklace at a pawn shop.
Right. I mean, I don't think she
when
really
it comes to the bad hair day and the melting of her dress, that was her problem. But if the bigger issue here is the jewels, then that's not her. Right.
The only question I have is Leigh-Allyn also a hero? Because she did cause the diamonds to be stolen.
Diamond. Wow. All right. Maybe we should mark it.
All right. I say yes.
Okay. Last but not least, lead is a fish out of water.
Nah.
I would say she's still pretty confident.
Yeah,
even though she says she's not. Oh my God, is that me? Oh no. I don't like all of this internal.
You're being forced to reflect.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't have therapy till next Tuesday.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, Val, no bingo for us today.
Ah, shoot.
And that's okay, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. I actually was curious because like we missed some of the big ones, but I was like, but we have a fair amount, so yeah, it'll be interesting if we do get one. But
still on there, just all in like weird spots.
Fair enough.
So you know what time it is, everyone. And today we're playing a different game, and this one's called Change That Title.
Oh,
so
okay.
I asked Val to come prepared today with 5 movies.
Yep.
And this movie, I wrote one of my notes, which I purposefully skipped until our game today, which was maybe I would like this more if it wasn't called Bad Hair Day. And so I asked Val for her 5 movies, which Val, please list them now.
Okay. This is so
and
funny.
I told her no parameters. So I gave Val any 5 movies.
Yeah, I didn't know what this was for. Okay.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Wow. Okay. Hold on. Great.
Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
Wow. Val's going full nerd in her 5 movies.
Only for these 2. Well, these are all nerdy in a different way. Now and Then.
What's that movie?
Oh, we got to do a Have You Seen for Now and Then. It's Christina Ricci and Demi Moore and Rosie O'Donnell and a bunch of other people you'd recognize. Cool. And it's a really lovely story, actually. It's a really good movie.
All right. Your 4th movie, Val?
A Goofy movie.
Oh, topical. And last but not least,
Homeward Bound.
Oh, wow. I was just talking about that with someone the other day, too. Cool. All right. So Val, we're going to discuss these movies and figure out other titles for them.
Okay.
It can be whatever we want. Also, and then lastly, we'll talk about what could Bad Hair Day also have been called, which I did write down a couple ideas, but maybe something will spark your interest as well. So let's start with number 1, which is Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Yes. Now, Val, I have never seen a single Lord of the Rings movie. I did put it in my travel DVD player as we were on the way to my grandma's, watched about 5 minutes and turned it off.
Wow.
So I don't really know much about it. Is this the first one?
No, it's the second one.
The second
which is
one.
My favorite one. Okay.
So why don't we come up with a different name for Lord of the Rings? And then we'll do like as if Lord of the Rings #1 would have a different name. And then we'll put the Two Towers have a different name.
Okay.
Okay. So what else happens in Lord of the Rings?
So basically like the bad guy is trying to become the Lord of the Ring.
Okay. So that's
because
everyone.
then
That's why
he
it's
would
called
get
Lord of
like
the Rings.
ultimate power, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And be able to take over everything.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the Lord of the Ring is actually a little hobbit, Frodo Baggins in the trilogy.
Okay.
And his grandpa Bilbo is the like original guy who finds the ring in The Hobbit, which is the prequel.
So it could be just like guys with rings.
Yeah, or like fighting over rings, or
fighting over rings. Or if we couldn't go rings, we could go fighting over this fighting things.
Yeah.
Search to find the things.
Well, it could also be like reluctant hero or something like that.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. Reluctant hero. And then for the second reluctant hero, Val, it's the Two Towers, but not for us.
Right. For us, it has to be Gandalf in the clutch.
Great. Reluctant hero, Gandalf in the clutch. Would everyone watch this movie? We don't know. Would it still be as popular? We don't know. But Reluctant Hero actually sounds like a good movie series.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next movie, Val, we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I also have never seen this.
Yes. It's in my opinion, and in many people's opinion, the best Star Wars movie of them all.
Okay. Now, can you give us a 1-sentence synopsis?
It is how we get to the very first moment of A New Hope. So like you watched A New Hope. So you remember like they're storming that spaceship and Leia has sent that message via R2-D2. You remember?
I remember. I rated it a 7.5.
So if you remember nothing, I'll just quickly remind you that the big thing was that they had the plans to the Death Star.
Okay.
Right? They had acquired the plans to the Death Star.
Okay.
Rogue One is the story of how they got those plans.
Okay, cool. I'm following. So the story should be like, get the plans. Got the plans?
Sure. Got the plans. Sure.
Lord of the Plans.
Lord of the Plans.
All right, what are you feeling, Val?
It could also be called Daddy Issues.
Ooh, that's fun. A Daddy Issues, a Star Wars story.
Yeah. I mean, all of Star Wars is probably called Daddy Issues, but it could
Daddy Issues, a Daddy Issue story.
Let's do that. Daddy Issues and Daddy Issues story. I love that. Oh my God.
Perfect. All right. Now we're on to our third movie, which is Now and Then. I have also never seen this. So I need a 1-sentence synopsis, Val.
Okay.
Val's just trying to figure out how to get it in 1 sentence.
Yeah. So we all had unresolved issues in the 60s.
Cool.
Kind of. I think that maybe I would call it reluctant reminders.
No, you already said reluctant.
Oh, okay. Here's what I'll call it. I'm an angsty writer now.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. All right. Fourth movie, we have a Goofy movie. I have seen this one, but do you want to keep the synopsis going for maybe someone who hasn't seen it?
Sure. Kid is embarrassed by his dad, but ultimately learns to appreciate him.
Yeah.
I would call this the worst camping trip ever.
Yep. With Pete. All right, and last but not least, we have Homeward Bound, which I've also seen, but if you want to do another quick synopsis.
Pets get lost on a move. Homeward Bound, let's see.
Honestly, Pets Get Lost on a Move is a great title.
Let's do it.
Great. Amazing. All right, now lastly we have Bad Hair Day. So the two that I had thought of was called Get Her to the Dance.
Ooh.
Or Roadblock.
Ooh, both very good.
Two titles where I was like, if this was going to be more like the Heat pacifier game plan, like something more like that, it would need a different title to be like a stronger buddy comedy title.
Yes.
But did you have any other thoughts?
Well, I've only had right now to think about it.
Wow, so true.
So nothing is like popping, but I mean, maybe something to do with the diamond. I don't know.
Yeah.
The bling ring.
It's already taken, Val. But you know what's not taken? Daddy issues, a daddy issue story.
No, I think I like your ideas a lot.
Cool.
I think that those both make a lot of sense.
Thanks. All right. Well, thanks for playing Change That Title.
Whee!
Whee! All right, Val, we are toward the end of our pod, which means we get to tell everyone what we're watching next week. What are we watching next week?
We are watching Teen Beach 2.
Hey, we liked Teen Beach 1, so here's to hoping.
Did. And that post-credit scene set up a fun sequel. So
a hell of a party. Coming to our eyes in 2 weeks.
That's right.
Yep.
That is correct.
Well, Val, thanks for a lovely time.
This is so great.
So great. I missed you.
It.
I know it doesn't seem like we've been gone for a while, but with splitting our last episode into two parts, it has been a while.
It has.
It has.
And I always miss your face when I get to see it.
Tell me again.
I always miss your face.
I always miss your face. I love you so much. And I didn't forget to say shit for a third time because I just did. So it didn't fit in anywhere else. I had to throw it in. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Bye, Val.
Bye, Elle. This podcast was produced by me.
And me.
And it was edited by me.
The music was composed by Michael McNally.
You can find us online at thetridentnetwork.com/dcommentaries-pod.
And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at dcommentaries.
Dcommentaries is a part of the Trident Network. To learn more about our videos, live shows, and other podcasts, please visit thetridentnetwork.com.
Disney Channel original movies.
Damn it, Allie.